and then decisions will be made depending on the deficit.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Deputy President, looking at the cost of basic commodities such as unga and such commodities, would you say that in the 6 months that you have been in power, you've done enough, the most that you could have done as a government?
I think we have done extremely well. When we came in, the cost of unga was between 230 to 250. And at that time, there was a subsidy. Despite the subsidy, which was, which cost the government 8 billion, and which of course was stolen, the unga was 250, between 230 to 250. We have worked very hard. And now unga, depending on where you are buying, is between 170 to 191. As of this afternoon, at Naivas supermarket, it was 178 per 2 kg. And I think coming down to 50 shillings, 45 shillings, without patting ourselves on the back, I think we have done extremely well. And that has been short term. The long term, we decided as a government, and under the wise leadership of President William Ruto, on advice of serious economists, that subsidizing consumption is foolish because it's not sustainable. You cannot subsidize consumption. And the president was well advised, and after analyzing all the advice from all sorts of experts and economists and putting his own thinking into it, decided that the way to go is to subsidize production. And that is why immediately after coming into office, we set money aside to subsidize the cost of fertilizer. Fertilizer that was going a 50 kg bag at 7,000 is now 3,500. The net effect of that is that the farmers will get a better yield at a lower cost of production. And that benefit will be passed to the consumer. So looking at the way things are going, all factors being constant, God being merciful and giving us good rain, we have prepared the farmers well. In the bread basket, 16 counties, our bread basket, we have sufficient fertilizer. I went to Mombasa personally to oversee the distribution of that fertilizer. I was in Kericho to ensure that it has reached. I saw with my own 2 eyes. All farmers have fertilizer and are ready for the long-range planting. All factors being constant, with God's mercy, we are going to have a bumper harvest with high yield and at a lower cost of production. That should be able to set the cost of unga down 150, 140, all the way to 120. And we believe that if eventually we can stabilize the cost of unga at 120, 110, 115, we think that is fairly comfortable for the people of Kenya. So I think we have done well. So when I see these maandamano characters making noise at us, the question I'm asking is one. They are telling us that they are going for maandamano for us to bring down the cost of unga. When unga was at 230, they never called for maandamano. They were right inside the government. The President Uhuru Kenyatta said his advisor is Raila Odinga. He's on record. Raila Odinga never called maandamano when unga was at 230. Why is he calling for maandamano when unga is at 178? It's double speak. Number two, he had an opportunity then, as the advisor of President Uhuru Kenyatta, without having to go to maandamano. He was part of government. He would have advised his handshake brother on how to bring the cost of unga down. Just how foolish do these people think Kenyans are? These are the same Kenyans who are buying unga between 230 and 250 during the reign of the handshake brothers. There is a new government that has brought unga down by 50 shillings, 45, all the way, up to 178, 175. I think without blowing our own trumpet, I think we are not doing very badly. We are not doing as much as we would have wanted. But telling us to subsidize unga, we are not going to do that because it's not sustainable. It is foolish. In any case, there is no mechanism that is proven to subsidize unga. We have sat down with millers. And I said I'll speak. 4 billion shillings were released from the National Treasury to subsidize unga. We went around this country, and I want to challenge the people of Kenya. No Kenyan anywhere saw a packet of unga at 100 shillings. Those millers are demanding money from us. They only received 1.7 billion, 2.3 billion shillings was stolen. They are saying they did not receive the money, and the money left the National Treasury. We are saying, why these people are calling for Mandamano to return the unga subsidy is because the network of stealing that money for unga subsidy belongs to them. So they want us to release another 2 billion, which the National Assembly has refused.
Deputy President, you had a strategy to reduce the cost of specifically maize.
Yes.
In January, President William Ruto is on record in Eldoret saying your government has a strategy to import cheap maize, free duty maize, by end of February. And even the CS for Agriculture, Medical and Turi, including Moses Kuria of Trade, they're on record saying it. But now, after the end of, we are now in March, there is no importation of cheap maize. Kenyans were waiting for this.
Yes.
Where is the maize?
It's good you have asked that question. The maize is not available anywhere in the world. The CS for Agriculture and the PS, the Honorable Mithika Linturi, were in Zambia, which produces maize, and there is no maize available. The only maize that is available in South Africa, and we are in competition with Angola and Rwanda for the same maize. The maize in Brazil, bringing it here because of the distance, the cost is too high. We decided as a government that the government is not going to import any maize directly because we don't want corruption. And the government doesn't want to get involved in importation directly because we don't want scandals. We don't want people in government to get into business. We advertise for millers and other people to apply to be given permit to import duty-free maize so that we can bring down the cost of maize flour. Unfortunately, and I'm sorry to tell the people of Kenya, there's no maize almost everywhere in the world.
Are you now saying that Kenyans should wait?
Listen, I'm just saying it is a difficult situation. It is 2 months ago, almost 3, when we gave people to import maize. And most of those people we gave maize, they are telling us wherever they have gone, they are competing with governments for the same maize. There is a problem of maize availability everywhere in the world. And that is why the president sent Mithika Linturi to discuss on a government-to-government program between the government of Zambia and the government of Kenya. And they have said the earliest they can give us maize is September. So what we are saying is that we are asking, last week the cabinet approved the importation of another 500,000 metric tons of maize, this time not to freelance importers, but to the millers themselves. And we have sat down with the millers. And they have said that they have established good contacts. And they can pool resources together. Because of economies of scale, they can be able to compete with governments. Because what is happening is that other governments across the world are competing for the same maize. I don't want to portray a very dark future, but I want to say that it is not easy. And I speak honestly because sometimes I think Kenyans deserve the truth. Okay. Because when you prepare them for the truth, it's normally a good thing.
Right.
Everything is being done, and I was in Eldoret. There are 2 ships in the high seas with maize. And I told the people of Eldoret and Kitale, the farmers there have been holding maize and expecting higher prices. And the prices are already very good at 6,000 per 90 kg bag. And I did tell the farmers, when these 2 ships arrive in the country and the maize is offloaded into the market, the prices will come down. Please, release your maize. If the farmers in our breadbasket counties, the 16 of them, agree to release the maize that they have, if they can be patriotic Kenyans to understand that people of Kenya need food, and the maize they are holding is making the prices go up, if they can agree as early as tomorrow to release the maize that they are holding into the market, the prices of unga will come down even to 140. So I want to use this platform to make an appeal to all maize farmers across the country to be patriotic, to think of their brothers and sisters who are suffering, to consider at the current prices, which are very good, by any standard for the farmer and bad for the consumer, for the benefit of the consumer and the Kenyan people, to consider to release into the market all the stocks of maize that they are holding.
Okay, Mr. Deputy President, thank you.
And again, we have also agreed.
Okay.
The animal feeds millers are competing with human beings for maize for the animals. So what we have done again, the cabinet has approved the importation of yellow maize for livestock, for animal feed.